I love chopping up a perfectly good Harley.
As you've seen in the last video, we took my dream Sportster, my 2013, and we did some pretty cool mods to it. It's sent over by Sportster Garage. I mentioned my buddy, First 48, he got the same mods for his bike, and we are doing it today. He is pulling up right now. First 48 in the house. Yay! All right, so today we're gonna be doing a little more than we did the mine. We're gonna be actually chopping his rear fender struts here to mount up that new rear fender we got coming. And we're also gonna be mounting up that new seat. So very similar to my bike, same exact mods, just a little more work. We gotta cut those struts and let's get to chopping. Before we get into chopping up my buddy First 48's bike, we're going to interrupt today's video with our very own Sportster build that we are giving away. It is a 2001 Harley Davidson Sportster 883 with the 1250 kit. It is an absolute ripper, and huge shout out to my buddy Brendan over at Quality Handmade that helped a lot out on this build. So we're gonna quickly go over this bike starting from back to front to go over everything that we've done to it. This thing is basically set up exactly how I would want it, and it's really cool to be giving it away to one of you guys. Like I mentioned, it's an 883, but it does have that 1250 kit. This thing is an absolute ripper. So yeah, starting here in the rear, I originally did this bike with the sissy bar because we were doing this collab bag with Torque Motorcycles, fully waterproof sissy bar bag. It's also a backpack as well, easily detaches like this when you don't want to run it. Makes it super easy when you're going for those long trips. You can take some stuff with you. Next, we have the custom skateboard rack and the custom painted deck. You can also easily detach this by 2 bolts when you don't want to run it, but I think it looks really cool. In the back here, we cut up the rear fender a little bit. It used to sit about right here. We cut a little, deleted that old school brake running tail light, and we added these nice little small super bright running and brake lights. So I originally wanted to keep this thing a 2-seater, so I went ahead and I got this nice Cobra 2-seater. I love the way it looks, low profile and sleek. It's not too wide. We kept the MX pegs for the passenger and the front as well, because we have a nice little MX vibe going with this chopper. We have the fork brace in the front. We have the billet aluminum MX gas cap. Really cool. I wanted to keep it. And we have this like off-road Baja MX style headlight as well. These bikes, they come belt drive. You already know we had to chain drive it. I absolutely love the looks of it. Brendan also crushed this paint job, gave it that retro vibe. We repainted the rear fender black, added those nice yellowy orange pinstripes, matches the NBT vibes. Same on the gas tank as well. We have our custom welded exhaust right here, all the way from Poland. Spira Moto came in clutch with these. I absolutely love them. This bike also used to have mag wheels on it. Went back to the spokes, 21-inch on the front, kept the 16 on the rear. Went with these awesome Shinko vintage tires. And while doing it, we also got a little hate on this. This is an S front end, so it's fully adjustable upper and lower as well. And we were able to run dual disc. We ended up cutting all the tabs off, shaved it down, polished it because we're not running that front brake to really show off that 21-inch front wheel and give it that chopper vibe. I think it looks absolutely killer. When I was shopping around for parts for this bike, I came across these handlebars. I forget the name of them, but they are built well. They're from Built Well. They look absolutely awesome with this style of bike. So we deleted all the controls. I wanted to make this bike look as much minimalistic as possible. We don't have the front brake up there, and we don't even have a clutch lever, because when you come over here, this whole kit from Prism Supply is absolutely bonkers. You have your foot clutch down here, super cool, and then you have your jockey shift right here. Awesome. Probably the coolest riding experience ever. We also got the Prism Supply ignition bracket that we had to add in. Everything about this kit is super cool. It deletes your clutch wire and it goes directly into the primary. It is hooked up right directly through here. It's such a cool kit. It's super responsive, easy to hook up, and it just changes your whole riding experience. As we were basically like minimalizing everything on this bike. We deleted all the wiring like I wanted to up here, and we were able to put our speedo back on here. I was super excited. Found this awesome bracket that mounted up here to the motor mounts, and we moved our coil pack down here as well. So yeah, everything about this bike is everything that I ever wanted on like a chopper bobber build. It's gonna be really sad to see it go, but I am super pumped and excited to be giving away to one of you guys. I'm super blessed to be in a position to give a bike like this away. And just remember, nbtclothing.com, every $1 you spend gets you 1 entry towards winning this bike. You only have a couple weeks left. We are gonna be picking the winner right around mid-January. So head on over there, get entered today. All right, now we got the seat taken off. I'm gonna take our rear shock bolts out so I can drop the swing arm. So it's a lot easier to get to the underside bolts to release our stock, ugly rear fender. Just like that, stock fender's off. I'm trashing it. All right, so now we got everything stripped off the bike here, rear fender, the seat. Now's the fun part. We gotta chop these struts right here. So I'm gonna take our blue painter's tape. We're gonna map out where we wanna cut it, and then we're gonna load up the Sawzall and we're gonna chop them off. I remember the first time I was chopping my Harley, I had my buddy Jay do it, and I was nervous as shit because basically you're destroying the bike, kind of. You're ruining the stock form, but it looks a lot better. But yeah, I was really nervous. Can only imagine how Chris was feeling watching me do it to his bike, but it went good. Now we're gonna do the other side, same thing. And after we chop both, I'll go ahead with our grinder and I'll smooth everything out. I love chopping up a perfectly good Harley. So I already started on this side. You're gonna take a grinder now. The edges are gonna be a little sharp after cutting it with that Sawzall. And you're just gonna round off the edges and kind of shape it however you want. Some people keep it straight and then they'll just round the edges, or some people will try to make it blend and make it look factory, and they'll kind of like cut off these ends and round it and shape it with the remainder of the strut. Then you just take some gloss black paint. My little paint contraption here. Saw it on YouTube. got it all nice and smooth. Did a little cardboard trick, hit it with a little rattle can. I feel like it came out really nice, but we're gonna get it all mounted up right now. We're pretty much at the end of this chop, and we just want to give a big thank you and shout out to Sportster Garage. If you guys want, the same look that we have going with our Sportsters, check them out at Sportster Garage on Instagram, and the link's in the bio to purchase these items. It's the rear bag seat, and then they're famous. I don't even know what it's called. It's just like a shorty chop rear fender. I feel like it's the best look on these bikes. It's like a staple. So we're gonna get all this mounted up and roll her out, show her what it looks like. Test fit there. It's in there nice and loose. I'll tighten it down after I get our bolts mounted up here to hold the fender to the struts. All right, so because this bike sits so low, we don't even have the proper bolts. Turn signals are supposed to go here, but the turn signal thread was not long enough, so we're gonna have to figure something out. So temporarily, this is how we are mounting up the fender to the struts right here. And it's not ideal, but it's gonna work for now so you can get home. But we had to take the stock bolts that are too long. We can't run it the other way because it's kind of weird, but it does the job right now. All right, so yeah, see what I mean? So it should go the other way, so you just got a nice little bolt there. But on mine, my turn signals, my bolt will sit flush underneath. I use a hex bolt, and it will come out this way. And my turn signals actually screw into the thread. His were the opposite. His thread went this way, and then a nut was on the back side, but his thread wasn't long enough. So this is how we're gonna do it for right now. We're gonna change it up, this week, but just so you can get home. So we got everything mounted up. She looks good. We're gonna bring it down, mount up the rear shock bolts. All right, and then the last thing that we're gonna do to this bike is we have, since we chopped all this, we took off that stock license plate holder. We're gonna be putting on an aftermarket one. It goes over the rear axle, so we're just gonna be taking this guy off. All right, so we chopped the fender here, or chopped our struts, got the new fender, got the new seat, infamous oil cap coming up, and we finished it off with this license plate bracket. It looks pretty sick. Now our bikes are like twins. I can't wait to get them side by side together. We're gonna do a nice little photo shoot. You happy? He's happy. All right, so if you guys like this video, make sure you like it, subscribe, and do all that other stuff. Till the next video.